So you can see I'm coming, but you won't see me nothing.
Everyone, it's that time of the year.
Spooky Man! It's a tradition in my house to watch and argue about every horror icon in excruciating detail. And since I'm the tier list guy for the usual spot, I suppose who better to give you all the definitive horror icon tier list than me. Now, fair warning for all of you, this is probably going to be the single most controversial tier list video we make on the usual spot. A lot of people are passionate about these icons. But again, as the tier list guy, just remember that my opinions are always...
Hold up. You're doing the horror tier list?
Yeah? Why not?
Your horror takes it straight from the garbage bin, man. I'm not about to sit here and let you badmouth Scream for the 1000th time.
You're just not willing to accept the truth.
Alright, bet, Steven. It appears you pushed my hand.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you pushed mine too. You know what this means, right?
Of course. We settled this like men.
True, strong, sophisticated men.
Tier list video?
Tier list video.
Tier list video.
Tier list is good.
Tier list time. Let's do it.
Yes, to prove you wrong, good sir. We have a tier list of all the icons.
I am more than sure we are missing a couple.
Well, we definitely are, but if people want to like discuss about it in the comments, then they can.
More like yellows, but Dracula, the first one, I don't believe he's the first Universal monster. I'm pretty sure it's Frankenstein. Someone's gonna correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But how do we feel about him? How are we feeling?
Personally, for me, he's my favorite Universal monster, honestly, because like Dracula, it's as iconic as you get. You know, vampire, the Gothic castle, like just the drip. I mean, there's a reason why Dracula like stands at. I mean, all the Universal monsters in their own way stand the test of time. Like they're still iconic to this day.
There's a reason they're known as the Universal monsters.
Exactly. Yeah. Like not just for the company that they came from.
Not to mention, Dracula has been like a staple in media for hundreds of years. Dracula's concept is really old, like a vampire, and I think Universal's take on it is still by far one of the best.
Oh yeah, like I think what's cool about Dracula too, like his whole mythos, is that like for a character like Alucard, right, his son, all they did was just turn his name backwards, and yet it just works. And that's like
it's like the most egotistical thing you could ever do. It's like naming my kid Nevin. What the fuck?
and like it is a bit of bias, because if I had to be a monster in a Halloween town, I would definitely want to be a vampire, even though vampires have a lot of glaring weaknesses. I just think that just Dracula's aura, Dracula's aesthetic, his funny exaggerated speech, you know, like the fucking Sesame Street Dracula, fucking like.
And not even to mention the movie season himself from Universal is really good also, and I think those stand the test of time.
Oh yeah, I put Dracula in S personally.
I don't necessarily feel the same. I'm gonna put him in high A because I think there are people that are better than him. It may change though, depending on how the thing goes. I will probably move him up, but for now, just to be safe, I'm gonna put him in A.
Right. All right. So, Frankenstein's monster, because I know for a fact if we called him Frankenstein, we'd have nerds in the comments saying,
actually, Frankenstein's the name of the doctor.
I'm actually not knowing that it's simple fun facts. Y'all aren't qualified to make this tier list.
Again, much like Dracula. In fact, all like the first like 6 are like Dracula. Super iconic. So if I just started off saying, "Oh my god, this is iconic," well, yeah, no shit. Like it's like they're all iconic. But Frankenstein alone, again, I'm not sure which came first. If it was Dracula, I think it was Frankenstein first, though. But like, when you think of like mad scientist creations, like you know, spooky like stuff, you always think of Frankenstein. Like, "It's alive" is like legit, probably the most iconic quote of all time.
It's definitely up there.
I don't know, I think Frankenstein being a monster that like doesn't really want to like hurt people it's just a confused, like, dead being, undead being. I don't know. It has its charm, and of course, people are fucking assholes, so you feel bad for it, because, like, man, it's just a like jumbled up abomination of
Yep.
parts stitched together. So it's like,
I will say this though, against Frankenstein, I don't think he's as iconic as Dracula. I think the concept of Frankenstein, I think the concept of Frankenstein himself is a really big thing. I like the concept of Frankenstein. I think that's used in a whole bunch of stuff, like creating a monster that doesn't understand anything but is hated for it. But I think Frankenstein's monster himself is iconic, but in the sense of referencing. Whereas I feel like Dracula's left a lasting legacy that can still be felt to this day. And that's why I think he's actually lower than Dracula.
Yeah.
Several versions.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, like, there's a reason why, for example, like a lot of video games use vampires and Dracula as like the big, like heavy hitters and like in gaming. Like the most famous one, of course, is Castlevania, because like Dracula is literally just the main guy in Castlevania. And Frankenstein, he's just an enemy type that you fight, which is cool. But like, yeah, I mean, you're right about that. He's not as iconic as Dracula. I think with that, I mean, I'm just gonna put him. I'm gonna put Frankenstein in. Ooh. I'm gonna put him in A. Why not?
I'm gonna put him in A also below, because I think despite of me what I'm saying, I do feel as though Dracula. I do feel as though Dracula is I mean not Dracula. Frankenstein is up there in iconicness. Starting to regret putting Dracula in S, not putting him in S already, but Bride of Frankenstein. B. Off rip. I'm sorry.
Really?
I think she's iconic, but let's be honest, nobody really gives a shit.
Yeah.
Because she's a what? No, I mean, so her movie isn't that bad. It doesn't make sense though. I've never understood it. I don't know. I don't like her. I'm putting her in B. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, in terms of like aesthetic alone, I really dig her. I love her hair, especially the hair, like the little like white streak that like just goes through it, like on both sides and like meets in like the end. Like it's a really cool design. Like the designers back in like what the 20s, 30s, like they were cooking around that time. They were cooking.
Yeah, definitely.
It does like, and I like how it clashes a lot with the original monster, because like the original monster looks so like uncarelessly put together, and like just it didn't really have like a second thought put to it. But like the bride actually did have a lot of thought into it, because like hey, yeah, let's give the monster a bride. I think as a concept she's great. The movie itself, I mean, it's alright, but I think like on and alone of like in terms of like her being iconic, I think in terms of like her being like how well known she is and what she brought to the table, I think I'm also gonna put her in B, but high B, because like she's cool, but like people are gonna remember the original Frankenstein a whole lot more. We're going forward into the land of the furries. We're gonna become a Furby, because now it's time for the Wolfman.
Not that familiar with him. I will say this. There was if you could find a commercial, put it up here. There was a commercial for Universal Horror Nights way back in 2007, 2008, where it was this dude, they're singing the whole, let's all go to the lobby, that thing, and it was like Wolfman, Jigsaw, and Chucky. It scared me as a child, and that was my first instance of the Wolfman. And eventually when I got older, I watched the Wolfman and was not impressed. Yeah. I think arguably the least iconic Universal monster, no, because Creature from the Black Lagoon's right there, so never mind. Second least iconic Universal monster,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm with you on that, because like me personally, I was never really the biggest fan of like the Wolfman as a concept. I mean, like, okay, no. I think people turning into were-monsters is cool. I just think that the Wolfman is just like the most. I mean, for the time, it was fantastic because like no one really thought of that before. I think it's like because like nowadays, like I'm just so used to the idea of like like
I mean,
where
I'm
something.
pretty sure that's like a concept that was in like cultures beforehand.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
they're
actually.
necessarily that unique with that. I
True,
get
yeah.
what you're saying, but I'm gonna have to put him in C.
Yeah, I was thinking of like where I was putting him because like concept alone, he's cool. Even like going back to those times where it was like where we're not so used to like the idea.
Yeah.
I just think that like him as a monster alone is just okay because it's just a giant wolf. You know, I think of it like this. I think of it like Man-Bat from Batman. You know, it's like you don't hear a lot of people talking about Man-Bat because he's a giant Batman. It's like how you don't hear a lot of people talk about the Wolfman because he's just a giant wolf man.
I get it.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna put him in C.
Yeah, I think C is justified. Watch this video reach the one Wolfman fanatic, and they're like, "How dare you put the wonderful London man that turns into a wolf in C tier?" It's like, you know, the creature from the Black Lagoon, probably the least iconic horror monster on this list.
Yeah.
Not just Universal, on this list. Not many people know about this thing.
Wait, hold on. Like this is a spoiler for the video, but even less iconic than the killer turkey?
Yes, only because of dead meat. I think dead meat made the killer turkey more iconic than okay, it's not more iconic, but you get what I'm saying. Nobody knows who the creature for the leg. It's a goofy ass character, bro. Real shit. And I do want to say, because we keep repeating it, but the earlier Universal movies and their monsters have charms in them. But Jesus fuck, this thing sucks.
Yeah.
D tier. I'm sorry, I don't like it.
I see. For the time he's in the movie, he's just kind of swimming around, not really doing any. I mean, maybe that's the point. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, admittedly, but like, I mean, all he was doing was just swimming around his little lake, you know?
Okay,
I mean,
but
like,
I don't want to counter that point with you saying it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen Frankenstein and Dracula, but I could remember the movie and the part that stuck with me.
Well, yeah, true. Well, I mean, yeah, but like that's like the point. Like, I'm getting to though, where it's just like Creature of the Black Lagoon kind of doesn't do much with it, you know? Because like all he does is just swim around.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Because like he doesn't even really try to go after the protagonists in the movie. He's kind of just there. Design wise, he's cool. I mean, he would scare the piss out of Gabe, so I mean, he has that going for him. But
honestly,
it's like,
I'm pretty sure if we showed Gabe Nemo, he'd be pissing his pants. I put him in.
I think as an adaptation of the evil Zora from the Zelda series, I think that it's all right. But I'm a
fucking nerd.
Fuck. You know what? You and I are gonna have like similar looking tier lists because because of the fact that he really doesn't. Because like here's the thing, everything above D tier at least does something. Because like putting him in D tier is a bit harsh because like D tier is meant for like the really bad ones, right? Like the really bad ones. I feel. But it's just the thing is just like he kind of just doesn't do anything. So that's like the only place you can put him because like he's not even trying to kill people. Everybody else like above him is trying to kill somebody at least, like and then he just went back to the lake and became invisible. And speaking of invisible, we got the Invisible Man.
So I will say this, I have a soft spot because I like this movie, and there's actually a remake that came out 2021. I'm gonna have to fact check me on that. And that one is really good. Where spoiler alert for the movie, skip ahead, but it's an invisible suit rather than an invisible man. Rather than being invisible. It sounds goofy, but it's actually really good. And I think because of recency bias of that movie and just the concept of the Invisible Man, I like this character. I truly do. I think it's an interesting concept. More than monsters from water or sucking your blood. It's just a fucking freak trying to kill me.
True, yeah. I like the fact that, like, that I like his design a lot. I think it's like probably like it's definitely one of the more simpler ones, but like I think that's why I like it a lot. I mean, because like a lot of simple designs are great, and I think like just Invisible Man just like trying to like make himself seen because of his because of his whole thing being invisible. It's like he did the best with what he had, and honestly, he made a pretty damn good suit with it. I never saw I didn't see the remake. I forgot it existed, but
everybody else.
True, yeah. And I do think he could have been used a whole lot more. Because like if I remember, because like Invisible Man is like such like a really cool concept of like just some random like weird like just some random dude that just is just invisible, just being this like unstoppable force technically. And like they just don't do a whole lot with it, but they do a lot more to me personally in terms of like as an icon than like something like the Wolfman would. I'm gonna put him above Bride of Frankenstein in B tier for me.
I agree. I think he's very high B tier. I think they don't do enough with him, so I can't really consider him that iconic. But yeah, I think it's the costume design he has is genius. Do with the bandages or whatever. I think that's great, and I think the concept of it is really good. So I'm going to
absolutely.
I'm doing B tier also, high B tier. Who doesn't deserve more? The mama's boy from hell, Patrick Bateman is next. Psycho. A lot of the people that watch our videos have not seen Psycho.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna make up. Is it crazy to say? I think a lot of people who watch our videos have probably seen Bates Motel over Psycho.
I think so. I mean, they most likely have, yeah. Because like I don't think a lot of people nowadays like really like know Psycho. Honestly, yeah. I mean, like they'll probably get like the funny little parodies of like the shower scene, but like they're not even gonna like watch the actual movie. It's just the parodies,
Yeah, I think as an icon himself, and I need people who's watching the video who's gotten this far in, 20 minutes in, to realize we're not just talking about how well they are in the movie, but how they are as an icon itself, not necessarily how many people they've killed or whatever. And I think as an icon, I think it's nuts and it's crazy that a woman getting stabbed in the shower is more iconic than this freak of nature. He wanted to fuck his mom.
Yep. Yep, that's how it is.
White people, right?
Yep.
What are you putting him, man?
I think Psycho, like him as a killer was, I mean, he creeped me out. I was like, okay, yeah, this is Christian for Christian. Okay, that's cool.
Wow.
And so just his whole aura is just like, by the first time you see him, you're just like, oh, I don't trust you. Even when you like, whether you're spoiled for the movie or you're not spoiled for the movie, you just know that guy's not right. So he has the creepy factor down, as any serial killer really should have.
Yeah.
In terms of his effectiveness as a killer, I mean, he was pretty gnarly, like with it. I mean, just like straight up, just like with that shower scene, just straight up going to a woman while she's showering, just to kill her in cold blood. I mean, that's, dude, you gotta be another brand of fucked up. So, I think as a killer, he's pretty, like, as a killer, like, it makes sense why he's an icon. I think in terms of like where I would put him though, like where I would think of it, I'm putting him in C, because at the end of the day, he is just a serial killer. And like a lot of these people on the list are serial killers, but like they have something to them that's like iconic about them. They have an image to uphold. He's literally a guy that put on his mom's gown. So it's like he's,
yeah, stand by it. The movie would not have been iconic if it wasn't for that scene. Okay, now we're getting to we're out the 90s. No, we're not out the fucking 1900s. But we're out the old people shit, the black and whites, and we're finally getting with some real icons with Michael Myers as the first one.
Oh yeah.
the man who has the most convoluted timeline in any movie, video game, or fucking TV show I've ever seen.
It's more confusing than the fucking Guilty Gear timeline.
More confusing than the Legend of Zelda timeline.
More confusing than the Call of Duty Zombies timeline.
Honest the fucking league. But rants about that another day. Probably. I would argue because of Jason Voorhees' recent debacle with the court system and who technically owns the character Jason Voorhees, I would argue in that time Michael Myers has overtaken Jason as the most popular slasher of now. But a lot of people consider Halloween the first true slasher film. The movie has been copied by plenty of things. As a matter of fact, I would argue in some aspects, a lot of the slashers in this list he's their father. Michael Myers is the slasher godfather. Off rip.
Honestly, I really love Michael Myers because like what I just said about Bates being just a random serial killer. Like Michael is just a random serial killer that escaped from a mental ward, but like he has the mask. He has like he has the mask. He has the overbearing physique. I mean, because like that man is low-key superhuman. Michael has survived and has gone through so much shit, especially in like the new trilogy, the reboot trilogy that ended on a very sour note, but the first one was good at least. The first one's amazing. I think Michael, he's iconic for a reason because like the first Halloween like really did its job and like just emphasizing just how soulless he is. Because like the mask, like sure the mask is just a mask to hide his face, sure, but like I mean the blank expression, the blank eyes, just him just like not even just caring about like who he's killing, which turns out that the babysitter was like his fucking long lost like sibling or something like that, which that's a bit of a cut.
What's her name?
Yeah. Laurie
Strode, yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid, that's
think
been retconned so much. I'm not even gonna get into that.
I think Michael, in terms of like my enjoyment of Michael, oh man, I think I'm gonna put him in A, but below Frankenstein, because Frankenstein has the fact that he is a fantastical monster over just being a serial killer, you know.
I think this is where things gonna start to really differ because I'm putting him in S tier actually. My first S tier pick.
Really?
I think beyond anything with sticking to the iconic thing, he is the slasher villain of all time.
Right.
Everybody that comes after him has copied him in some way, and whether it's him or the movies, the fact that there's the final girl was kind of really, put in with him with his movie. He just, like you said, embodies what makes a slasher, and I think everybody so forth is going to follow him. So I'm putting him S tier. He's very high S tier. It'd be very hard for someone to go past him on my tier list, despite me not liking more than half of his movies. Him as a character is really good. Sometimes you don't need a motive. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you're just a crazy asshole.
Yeah.
And speaking of crazy assholes, we got one that not only kills you physically, or at least he could until he died. He became fucking Scarecrow for Batman, but cooler. We have Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, my favorite. This is my favorite.
You like your favorite
I
is the man
fucking
who
love.
touches children?
Okay, well, despite that, he is as a horror villain. I mean, first off, can I just say I respect the drip? I think Freddy Krueger has inspired so many characters that has like the knives on the glove. Like, I mean that's just a cool, like, that's just like a cool design choice. So much so that, like I said with Scarecrow from Batman, first up, best villain by the way, and two, he took the Freddy Krueger bit and added syringes in Arkham Knight, or actually no, not Arkham Asylum. Yeah. Arkham Asylum. So there you go.
Already right there. Syringes in Arkham Knight too.
I think Freddy on his own, just the fact that he goes into your dreams and kills you there, and like has like this whole like just he could literally just be anything, anywhere, anytime, any person, and like the way that he the way he always just dies, but even he knows that eventually he'll just come back because he's a figment of your dreams. Like you can't really kill him. I mean, you
Which
can,
I
but
do
then he'll
want to
just come
interrupt
back.
and say that's a really cool mechanic. I've been playing way too much fucking video games, but that's a really cool idea. The fact that the most natural thing humans do, other than eat and shit, is sleep. So the fact that that becomes your biggest weakness and he used that to his advantage, I think is so cool. I agree with you with the drip. That fedora gotta go, but you know he gets a pass. You know he does. He don't. He
Just,
not.
just
he not on
because
the internet.
Redditors ruin the image of the fedora, that doesn't mean it doesn't look cool on him.
I want you to look me in my face and tell me he would not walk up to somebody and say, "Good day, my lady."
Oh. I mean, have you seen the photo that I chose for him? I mean, he literally looks like he's about to tip his hat right now.
My lady. I heard that sticker. Not to mention, he has a whole bunch of really good pop culture moments, and he is the pop culture icon. Without Freddy Krueger, we wouldn't have Scream. I'm putting him high A. I think he's dope. I like him. I'm putting him higher than Dracula. I think he's dope.
I put him higher than Dracula too. I put him on like the top of S tier. I love Freddy. I just think, I don't know, like I said, his design is amazing. His freaking fuck, I almost said mechanics. His gimmick is amazing. Robert Englund's such like England.
Amazing actor.
Oh my god! Like, and the best like he just has like that distinct voice.
And we don't talk about the reboot, by the way.
Oh, I never saw the reboot, but
oh, it's awful. Oh my god. I couldn't think of a transition. Jason Voorhees, probably the most iconic horror villain of all time. The most iconic drip, the most iconic weapon, and the most iconic ending to any horror movie, with that fuck ass extra jumping out the water and dragging him down. Fun fact, he wasn't the original killer, it was his mom. Spoilers alert for that. This character is the horror villain. Off rip. Icon alone, like the icon status alone, easily tops the S tier. If we're just looking at icon alone, easy S tier. I can show anybody a hockey mask, to the point where hockey masks aren't even associated with hockey anymore. They're associated with him. If I guarantee right now, if I'm like on a subway or on a train or a bus or whatever, and I just got back from playing hockey, my black ass playing hockey is crazy. And I had it on like the outside of my bag, nobody's gonna say, why do you have a hockey mask? They're gonna say, why do you have a Jason mask? Movies aren't that good. I'll say that. They're not the best. Except for the reboot, which was really good. I like the reboot.
That was the Michael Bay one, wasn't it?
No. No, Michael Bay made Platinum Dunes, which I think made that movie. He didn't make the movie.
I know he definitely didn't make it.
But yeah, if you want to refer to it as that, that one.
Yeah,
really good.
he published.
Yeah, he's the publisher, producer.
Yeah.
He's S tier for me. I think off of respect alone, he's S tier. What do you think?
This tier list is definitely going to like more like just personal, like how I feel about the characters. With that, I mean, I love Jason. I love Friday the 13th. The first one was kind of because like, I'm gonna be real. I actually have never seen the first one. Like last year was when I actually like watched it. Like I remember watching like Friday the 13th, but it was always like part 3 because I always recognized Jason as the guy with the hockey mask. But in part 2, he had the burlap sack, and in part 1, it was his mom. So that's like the one thing too. Like, I mean, I feel like the most iconic, the most iconic Jason's definitely part 3. But I also feel like I would also say like maybe like the most iconic movie is also part 3. But whether like that movie like stands, like I feel like the first one was alright, like, and the other ones were like got either better or worse. That's not what I'm here to discuss. I think Jason as a character alone, because like, Jason in himself is a zombie. He is literally a
zombie. Yeah, he is
overgrown, built like a brick house zombie, and a lot of people think that Jason doesn't like, because like the main thing that everyone says about Jason is like, it's like,
Oh, he's not that scary. He doesn't run.
yes, the fuck he does. And when he does run, he saves it for special occasions. Jason is fucking terrifying. And I love that about Jason, because like people think he's dumb. He's not dumb. He is very aware of what's happening around him and like who he wants to kill, because like think about it. He was in New York. He was in New York. He didn't go on a massive killing spree. He saw those fucking like kids on the street just like hanging out with their boombox being too loud. He crushed that shit. Cause like, damn man, you're being a nuisance.
I mean, not even that. He also doesn't kill kids, so it's not like he's like a crazy ass freak or whatever.
So he has morals. I think Jason's just amazing. I love Jason.
So where are you putting him? What did you?
I'm putting him. I think I'm also putting him in S, right beside Freddy, because like there's a reason why Freddy and Jason are like two of the most iconic. There's a entire reason why they made a movie with both of them. Now let me ask you, chat. That's not live. What's your favorite scary movie? Haha, it's the guy from Mortal Kombat.
Let me stop him right for a second, because he does not like this movie, bro. He does not. I've had plenty of debates with him about why this movie's good, and I just can't convince him.
Why you gotta out me like that, dude?
Because I know you're about to be on bullshit. No, fuck you. You're about to be on bullshit.
No, man. I love Ghostface. We've had this conversation before.
But you don't like the movie, though. That's the issue. I don't understand you. That movie's good, man.
Hey, listen. I'm not saying that the movie's like dog shit. I'm just like, I just don't. It's. We literally are making a meme about this. It's literally the Peter Griffin thing. It's like I did not care for Scream.
Well, I think you're a dick, and I think he's S tier, the best thing in our movie.
I am a dick. Yes, you're right about that.
No,
you know what?
I'll say this. I get your complaints. I mean, we're not gonna go over his complaints in this video. He has a lot of valid complaints for the movie. But I do think, because he has said that he likes the Ghostface character, and I agree to a point. I think as far as icon goes, if we're sticking on topics, at this point this is an icon tier list. This is how do I feel about a tier list, which isn't that most tier list nowadays. Less objective than anything. But icon, the mask is very iconic, but it's the mask itself that's iconic, and that's what's getting me. Because you ask anybody, hey, who's this? They're like, oh, it's Ghostface. No, this is from Scream 1. Who is the killer? I don't know. Who's the killer from Scream 4? I don't know. Scream 5? I don't know. I feel like the concept of Ghostface itself is iconic. And if I was going off of that alone, I put it in S. But the fact that the killers behind them aren't iconic knocks it down for me a bit. Just really? A bit. People know Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers. They call the nigga the Shape in the movie, but they call him Michael Myers. Same with Freddy Krueger. We know his backstory, the Diddler. But like,
I may not be the biggest fan of Scream. I may not be the biggest fan of the movie, but Ghostface, like you said, as a concept, I think is fantastic. I think the idea that anybody can be this fucking ghost guy is actually amazing, especially because like the later movies use this to a real the later movies use this like a good degree as well, where like the entire thing is that anybody can just go out and just be this crazy killer with so many different motives, like so many different like ideas. It's like the Joker, like from like, I made so many Batman references here, but it's like the Joker, where it's just like the Joker doesn't really have a reason, much like Ghostface doesn't have a reason, because it may not be the exact same person underneath the mask. I remember watching the Scream 6 trailer for the first time, and the fact that Ghostface just walked into a convenience store and started fucking shit up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, this motherfucker could be literally anybody. And especially for the fact that costume shops literally sell his outfit.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy. Which, I do want to say, in the universe, that's kind of fucked up, huh?
Yeah, but capitalism, baby. So I'm gonna put him in S above because of the idea alone. I think the voice is also what makes it, because like
Yeah.
I love Ghostface's
I
voice. It's like,
it's amazing.
What's your
this is a very like a shoddy thing. My voice is fucked up from the night, but it's like,
What's your favorite scary movie?
it's like, dude, that's
No, you're
if
doing
I
it
got
wrong.
that-
You're doing it wrong. It's like this. Hey guys, what's your favorite scary movie?
I think Ghostface is fantastic as a killer. He's going up in S right behind Freddy in between. So he's between Freddy and Jason.
I will put him low S, but I may change it because I don't think he's more iconic than Freddy. I think I might change it up in the middle of this. I'm gonna be honest. I might change it up. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I'm not really taking it serious. Not as serious as it's brain cancer. John Kramer, Jigsaw up next.
That's right.
It's terrible. I suck at this. You're not giving me the good ones, man. You're getting all the good transitions.
Bro,
I'm not
that
getting
was
them.
that was a good one. Trust me.
Yeah,
me.
I can't wait
We
till we
love
have
dark.
that.
We
have
love dark humor.
No. Jigsaw, the man with the moral compass is messed up. That's too far. It's Jigsaw. We all know who Jigsaw is. Everybody's seen the Saw movies. Some people think they're torture porn. Other people think they're a dramatic masterpiece. I'm one of those people. I love the Saw movies. I'm not the biggest fan of 7, or 6
7
for that matter.
7 fucking sucks and 6 fucking sucks.
Yeah, they both suck. I'm not the biggest fan of Jigsaw also, but I love Saw X. But let's go back to the main killer, John Kramer, the man who they tried to kill off, but he still appears in every single mainline movie. Kind of crazy. That's iconic in a sense. If you don't know, if you've never seen this old man, you definitely know who Jigsaw is. Putting the doll up there. This doll is very iconic for the early to mid 2000s pop culture. It was everywhere, just like Chucky was everywhere. They were hand in hand.
Don't ever do Billy like that ever again.
That's crazy. Billy is an iconic puppet, but John Kramer's messed up moral compass really makes him like very interesting. Because on one hand, you kind of get what he's saying, where it's like you have to want to live, and that's gonna change you. But on the other hand, you killed the nigga for smoking cigarettes, so come on, kind of a dick, but that's what makes him endearing. He's a very endearing character. Probably more endearing than the majority of this list. What do you think?
I love John Kramer. I know I said Freddy's my favorite, but if I had to think like a tiebreaker that could break that, I think John Kramer Jigsaw would be like my favorite if Freddy wasn't a thing. Because like I think especially John Kramer, because I know he has his apprentices, he has Amanda, he has Hoffman, he has fucking Logan from Jigsaw.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, he's there.
And he also has Dr. Gordon. That was the only good twist in Saw 7. The fact that Dr. Gordon was an apprentice, that was fucking...
My name is James Gordon. I'm a doctor. Dr. Lawrence Gordon, also known as Larry. Who the fuck called that man Larry?
no one's called him Larry.
Called that man Larry.
Anyway, about Jigsaw himself, I think, like you said, his moral compass is like... I think especially with the apprentices, right? John Kramer's like moral compass like really like shines through when it comes like dealing with his apprentices, because like every single apprentice besides Gordon has like gone back on his teachings, like his very fucked up teachings, but like he always twists it into something that like that makes it seem that he's making sense, not just in like his words but like his puzzles. Because he literally just twists and turns every single little detail. He's like probably the smartest killer on this list besides the Predator. Like, John is always like 10 steps ahead, and that's what makes him the most terrifying. Saw 2 was like literally just him fucking over everybody, eventually to the point where he got away, even though he was surrounded by a fucking SWAT team. Just I think Jigsaw is probably also like the scariest concept here, because like you can literally just be doing anything in your life, and then all of a sudden out of a dark alleyway, a fucking guy wearing a pig mask just comes and like
Which is
tranks your
another
ass.
iconic part of him, because he doesn't just have one iconic look. He has two. That pig mask is terrifying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pig mask is in a Dead by Daylight. There's so many people in S tier right now for me. So,
I'm putting him in S tier.
I'm putting him in S. I gotta put him in S.
I've got to put him in S tier. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like, also before we move on too, like, Tobin Bell is like like amazing act. Like,
God tier.
my favorite scene of anything Jigsaw is when he's talking to Detective Matthews. I think the guy from Saw, like the main character in Saw 2.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, it's like I forgot like the full quote, but it's like, and there will be blood. Oh yes, there will be blood. I'm like, oh, love this fucking asshole. You just blew someone's like legs to smithereens, but you know what? I like you.
Yeah, you committed mass murder in front of like 3 FBI agents. You're just still cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy.
You wanna know what's also kind of crazy? Cannibalism.
See, fuck you. See, that's good. I hate this. This is bullshit. Let's continue on with saying his damn name.
Leatherface. Okay. I think Leatherface, again, I'm not a fan of the movie. I'm not a fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise as a whole. I think as movies, they're boring. But I think Leatherface is a fantastic killer as a concept again. I think, to me, he's cool. Because he is the dirtiest of the slums of the South. He literally wears rotting flesh as a mask. He's disgusting. And it fits the vibe. And he uses probably the most gnarly weapon ever that's like really gruesome in its own right if used correctly. A chainsaw. Like, I used to have an immense fear of chainsaws because of this man. It's still terrifying when a guy is admittedly running at a very very slow pace.
A slight jog.
Yeah, but you know, just aesthetic alone, creepy, like scary factor alone. I mean, imagine again, like John Kramer. Imagine being kidnapped from the side of the road and being tortured. Like, that's fucking terrible. I think, like, he's not S tier worthy, though. I feel like I would put him, like, slightly below Michael on A tier, because he's effective. Leatherface is effective in what he does, so.
So I think this is where I get a lot of hate, because I don't like the concept of Leatherface.
Really?
He's not interesting. Because I think the interesting part about his mythos is the family surrounding him. He's not even the most evil person in that. Matter of fact, most iterations just makes him he just slowly develop. He's just not all the way there. He gets manipulated. It's part of the bad movies. And I think the only iconic part about him is the fact that he wears the leather mask. The leather made out of human flesh. He wears someone else's face and with the chainsaw. Now granted, chainsaws did make him popular. You know, I think that's a big part of him. But I think other than that, it's not like Jason, right? Him and Jason are so similar in concept, but Jason just does everything better. It's like the fucking it's like the Hello Human Resources meme. Jason is the dude who's like, oh hey, did Leatherface is the Hello Human Resources? I don't like Leatherface. Therefore, I'm actually going to put him in C tier. I think as an icon, he's not all the way there. I think a lot of people just won't agree with me. He's high T tier. He definitely is. But I think as far as like, because he's not like a modern. I don't think we have a modern horror icon other than like Pearl. But that's it. Then as far as like the slasher genre, I think he's probably the worst one. Honestly.
Yeah.
But that is a testament.
Yeah.
To this, that is a testament to how good those characters were. The fact that he's only in C tier, when you have the fucking tampon from the toilet in D tier for me. So, you know, it's kind of crazy.
You didn't have to do him like that, man.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he's in D tier for me too. So it's like, I mean, I don't really have any real place to stand. So.
Yeah, you know who doesn't also have a place to stand?
What's up?
Alien. They stick to walls. They don't really stand, they crawl. Alien.
That's true. They also go through the fucking vents like a parasite.
Yeah, they vent like Among Us. The alien from Aliens is uber iconic, especially with Romulus coming out recently. By the time this was recorded in August, the very dead smack end of August. Matter of fact, August ends in 30 minutes. Very iconic monster, despite them trying to leave the xenomorph. I want to go on a quick tangent real quick. Have you noticed that some of the more modern like alien movies like Prometheus and damn, I forgot what that other movie following Prometheus was. They try to leave the xenomorph for some reason. Like Prometheus deals with the engineers and stuff. Like it's like they want to get rid of this thing, and I just don't agree with that. This is a peak design that a lot of people would fuck. Y'all are freaks.
I mean, have you seen The Queen though?
Okay. And you can tell, Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I was ecstatic when I watched it with Bagels. That's my movie, buddy. Speaking of which, Bagels, I know you're gonna see this eventually. We need to watch the rest of the Nicolas Cage movies, dick. But I would put the xenomorph, the alien from the hit movie Alien. I would put it in high end.
Oh.
Not above Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger's in A. I wouldn't put it higher than Freddy Krueger for me. I think Alien is really, the xenomorph is really iconic, but I don't think this is, now in this tier list, we're not starting to do how iconic they are, but how iconic they are compared to everybody else. And although I do believe Alien is probably the best movie on this list, bar none, I don't think that iconic. What do you think?
I think it's the iconic level. Probably not like the first thing that people really think of when it comes to like, you know, horror icons, because obviously you have like everybody else that we just discussed like not that long ago. But me personally, this is where I'm probably gonna have to like start like moving stuff, like moving some people down, because there's already so many people in it. Because I love Alien. I love the Xenomorphs. My first introduction to the franchise was through Alien Isolation.
Great game.
Amazing game. And just like really just like falling in love like with like its whole aesthetic, like the whole like space, like that's like probably the probably like the best space like franchise ever. Like real quick, like I said, this is probably gonna have to be like me like moving a shit ton of people down to like A tier just to like make sure it's not like just all S and stuff like that. Because like,
Who cares? It's our tier list. I do. Get mad. Okay. All right. My fault.
I love the Xenomorph. I think the Xenomorph is like one of the best designs that the human mind has ever created. I think the again, like I said, it's like the best sci-fi franchise of all time. I think Alien as a movie is like one of the top 10 greatest movies of all time. Fucking love this thing. And you know what? It did not like the Xenomorph did nothing wrong. So I'm gonna put it in S tier, above Ghostface, Jason, and Dracula. I'm gonna move Dracula down to A to balance it all out. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So, do you know what 2024 is, Devin?
Shut up! No, I know what joke you're going.
It is
for.
the year of the Predator,
No.
because that's who we have next.
Come on, man. As soon as you said that shit, I was like, "Oh no, he's going there." You know what's messed up?
What's up?
I had a joke play like that.
Oh, damn it.
Predator, yeah, Predator. Go ahead.
Okay. I think Predator. Now, this is where my Xenomorph love is really going to show, because the Predator is, admittedly, yes, he is a cool monster. And I do really love the Predator. I think, like, his look and his skill set with him, like, you know, literally, like, having a lot of, like, he's both nature and technology. That's, like, the coolest aspect about him, because, like, he blends the two together. He has, like, the primal instincts of an animal, but with, like, the technological wonders of like a robot, which is a really unique like aesthetic for something like that, but also for the fact that he's also like, or they're also like whichever whichever it is, it's like the Predator is also like very you kind of pretty like if you prove to be a good enough like opponent against the Predator, they legit take off their mask and just fight you one-on-one with their true ugly motherfucking face. So
Yeah, so
they got some
what you're
sense.
saying is that the Predator is Batman.
Yes. Wait, didn't Batman and the Predator fought one time? Didn't they fight one time?
Man, at this point, that nigga Batman got help from the Scooby-Doo gang. I would not be surprised if he fought the Predator, man.
True. We should have had all. Speaking of which, we should have had all the Scooby-Doo villains in this tier list. But
we'd be here all fucking day. We're already nearing an hour.
Yeah, true. But yeah. So anyway, to make it short, Predator, I love him. Not as much as Xenomorph. Xenomorph fucking schools Predator. It has been scientifically proven. But Predator is cool. I think they have a really unique aesthetic. I love that their nature and technology merged, and the movie's good too. I'm putting him in A. I'll put him top of A tier actually. I think the vampires beat up. Yeah, vampire beats Predator, so he's like right behind Dracula.
This is again where I'm gonna get a bit of hate. I like the Predator movies. They're not really horror. I think a lot of people kind of assume it's horror. They're more action movies than anything. The first movie was the most testosterone-filled movie I've ever watched before watching John Wick, like a couple years later. Movie's good, and I like the Predator. Predator himself is good. But for his iconic, I don't think he's more iconic than the likes of, like I said, the Xenomorph, than Dracula or Frankenstein. I'm gonna put him in high B.
Oh.
I think he's more iconic than the Invisible Man and Bride of Frankenstein, but I don't believe he is that iconic. I don't think he deserves to be an A, personally. I think I don't even know why I'm defending this. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me. I just don't think he's that iconic overall. And then his movies vary from decent to mid, so there's that.
Yeah.
So.
There was like that one recent one that I heard was actually pretty good, but I haven't seen it. So
What
was it? Prey?
Yeah, Prey. I heard that one was great, and he put it on fucking Hulu. Yo, whose idea was that? Wait, hold on. Who's the?
My fault.
Shut up, bro. Speaking of not knowing when to shut the hell up, let's go with the piece of shit doll, the Charles Lee Ray. Chucky. Okay, now this man does not like Chucky. I like Chucky, so I'm gonna let myself explain first why I like it, and then I'm gonna let him go on his rant. He does not like this fuck.
No, you know what, Dad? Before you say anything, you are entitled to your wrong opinion.
Okay, you can go die. So. So, with Chucky, I understand his faults, but goddamn, I like him, especially in the earlier thing. One of my favorite line readings from him is when he gets old boy Andy Barclay's foster father down, and he looks at him, he's like, "What's hanging, Phil?" But he doesn't say it like in his goofy way, he just asks him real cool, like, "What's hanging, Phil?" Then kills him. I think that's a really dope moment, and it shows that he's able to be this quirky killer without going too far. He and Steven's going to castrate me for saying this. Early Chucky reminds me of early Freddy Krueger to a T. I think that's the most like Freddy Krueger we've gotten in a horror villain. I also like the fact that instead of this brooding, tall villain that we've seen in these other tier lists, except for John Kramer, who's a elderly man with brain cancer. What kind of fucking fucked up life that you have? There are all these lumbering oafs. In certain iterations, Michael Myers like 6'8". That nigga Jason is so big, he's defending the wrong thing. The Lakers need a center, brother. Get the fuck out the Look, I'm sorry. I can't even finish that joke. Do you get what I'm saying? Though? Like, all of these guys are lumbering like villains, whereas Chucky is the exact opposite. I've said Chucky is like a ninja, and I stand by it. I do believe Chucky is like a ninja. He uses his smallness and his uneasiness to the audience to get you. I like him to an extent. I understand he has his faults. He's not S. Hell, you could probably argue he's not A, but in the sake of the whole idea of this being iconic, I know I just said he wasn't S, but that doll is iconic. You are not gonna tell me he's not iconic. That doll is probably the most iconic thing other than Jason's mask and Scream's mask. I think I'm gonna put him in S. I think I am. I think I'm gonna put him in very low S because I don't. Fuck. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. Talk. Because I'm gonna be here all day trying to figure this out.
Right. Well, first off, let me just say, yes, I will chastise you. In fact, Devin, look out your window real quick. Yep, that is the nuke that I am sending to your house for your wrong opinion. So, with that, allow me to destroy it. So, actually, no, I fully understand exactly like where you're coming from, because like Chucky is iconic. Abso-fucking-lutely is iconic. Because like if this were like fully subjective, as most of my list has been, I would just put Chucky just like in the bottom of the barrel. I do not like Chucky, but I will say compared to like the other ones, like the other people that we have here, or at least that I have here, on like my D and C tier, I think Chucky has done much more. I think Chucky has his merits. I think the idea of a, possessed doll, that's creepy, but I also think it's a bit goofy. But this is where we kind of get to it, because it's like the Chucky movies where it's not that serious and they're more funny, like Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, like those, like those like movies. Like I think those are better because like they're not trying to be dead ass serious. They're just like, it's a fucking doll. Because like, let's be real. Everybody and their mother has said it. You could just punt kick the dude. Like he's a football and Charlie Brown. You could lock him in a closet. You could set him on fire. You can do whatever you want with him. And he kind of just goes down like that. I mean, granted, he always comes back. I mean, because like he's a fucking horror icon. But that's the thing. He's iconic. He always comes back because like he's an icon in himself. But he is effective. I do actually give him props for having smart strategic kills because of his size. And also for the fact that the people that he goes after are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So I think... Now, of course, I still don't like him. I still think out of all of these, he's still the lamest concept as a villain. But I can't deny like what he actually does. So I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to say he's bottom of B tier. That's the highest I'm willing to put him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Should have disrespected the man.
All right. So, speaking of killing, you know what time it is, Devin?
It's probably the worst one.
It's that time of the year. It's Thanksgiving.
Nice. You proud of that one?
And who? I'm very proud of that one. Yeah.
You've never seen this movie, correct?
I've never no.
Okay. So we're gonna do something interesting. I'm going to find a clip, and I want you to. We're gonna find a clip. Here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna find a clip of this, and I want you to react to this clip on video, and I want you to rate him off of this.
Okay.
Bless you.
Allergy season, you know.
It talks.
Fucking weather.
The age of the fuck. How old are you?
510 years old.
Fuck it then, I guess you can say.
Hazelnut?
Yep.
Alright. That does it.
Okay,
that
yeah,
was-
that was the only thing you're getting. Rate the killer turkey.
Okay. I honestly, I think I have never seen a more beautifully crafted killer than that. Now, let me tell you, that was peak. That was like pure malicious intent that felt like that really spoke to me, you know? Like, first off, hazelnut, really? You're gonna feed a man hazelnut? That's crazy. Second of all, the man's going through a hard time and you're annoying me.
You are pulling so much shit out your ass right now.
Okay, but for real, I think I have not seen the movie, so realistically, he's gonna go in I don't know. But if this was like a joke, then I would just put him in S tier because funny, haha. But like that, just okay. Also, I would just say this. Also, legit, that looked awful. That was like, I mean, was it okay? Was that supposed to be a like stupid funny movie, or was that meant to be taken seriously?
It's a stupid funny movie. It's one of those so stupid it's funny.
Oh well,
it's still not a good movie.
I take that back actually. Like if it's supposed to be a stupidly, then like I can give it some problem. Like okay, you know what?
Would that be like a serious movie, Steven? What the hell?
There's someone out there that would genuinely pitch an idea that a killer turkey. Think about it. We have a movie where turkeys go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
Nah, I got nothing to say. I think your reaction was great. It talks.
How iconic is he?
Not a lot of people know him, but when you see him, you can't get rid of him. He's gonna stay in your mind forever. Who we're not gonna ignore is the man, the myth, the legend. Literally, in the movie, he's a legend. Candyman. Played by... Damn, what's his name?
Tony Todd.
Thank you. Tony Todd. Handsome man. Great voice.
Amazing
Candyman. As a black man, I feel like I do have to address it. There isn't that... As much as I love horror movies and their way to push certain boundaries, there isn't that many minorities, or just, I guess in this case, black people. So much so that there's a stereotype that a black person always dies first in horror movies because of it. So growing up, I always hated, I loved horror movies, always hated that I couldn't think of any black horror movie like icons or famous people. Then I found out about Candyman. A black villain who even has that tied into his origins. And I think off of that alone, I just fell in love with the character. Now, a lot of y'all may not know about Candyman. It kind of plays on the whole, what's that shit called? Bloody Mary thing. If you say his name in the mirror 3 times, he will come forward and he'll get you. He's a hook for a hand, like the #slingy slasher. And he had bees on his face like Nicolas Cage. I think as far as icons go, he's not up there despite there being a remake in the previous years, but I feel like in the black community in particular, he's up there. And for that alone, I'm going to put him mid-A. I do not believe he is more iconic than the Alien, than Freddy, but I do believe he kind of goes over the Universal monsters. I can give him that. What do you think?
I think Candyman. Again, it kind of goes into like the whole like thing that I dig about it, like just being like a concept of like summoning, like you bring your own demise just by summoning this man. Like you call it a bluff, you say his name 3 times, and then he actually comes for you, and then you're just like, what the fuck? And it's already too late. It's terrifying. And for me, again, it's kind of like what we talked about with Dracula, where it's the drip. Yes, it's very simple, but it's very effective because the hook for the hand is almost as like, okay, not almost as iconic as Freddy's claws, but what I'm trying to get at is it strikes an image. Like for the very simple look, he has a very distinctive like look to him.
Yeah.
And of course the voice. The voice. Tony Todd can do a fucking voice so much so they made him the voice of Venom, which is crazy. So I think and also like the bees like are a very like, because some people like, I mean, because people hate bees, so I think including that too is just like a really neat like little scare factor too, just add a little more to the creepy factor. So I think for what he does and how he torments people just by being like an idea, like he does it because you summoned him, like, you know, it's like, hey, dumbass, probably don't summon the crazy villain next time. So because of the fact that he's a villain that doesn't really like do it like first, and means like he's not the one that instigates, and for having such freaking class, I think I'm gonna put him in A as well, above the Predator. And you know what? I'll put him right next to Dracula too. I'll put him a bit behind Dracula.
That's fair.
For the iconic stuff, but like he's almost there. And with that, I'm gonna move Leatherface down to B just to balance things out. And you know what else we love about mythical entities? We also love the controlling nature of people that are just sitting in a fucking jail cell. Yeah, but Hannibal Lecter. This one, me and you actually debated on if Hannibal Lecter actually
should have been.
deserved to be here.
We did. We was making this idea for it. We kind of wanted to figure out what would count as a horror icon. And Hannibal Lecter came up, and we were kind of torn on it. Because on one hand, he is in arguably one of the better movies ever made. I love Silence of the Lambs, but and he's also in the show Hannibal, which is really good. But as an iconic horror villain, should he be included in that? Is what we really discussed, and eventually Steven convinced me to put him in here.
I mean, all I really said was that like people know who he is, and he's a crazy serial killer who's a cannibal. So it's like.
Which, by the way, the cannibal stuff isn't really explored in the horror icons that we've seen. A lot of stuff isn't, to be honest. A lot of these are crazy killers, but some of them are like just insane. Like you got like that Freddy was just a pedo that died for being a pedo, then got mad because he was a pedo from dying from being a pedo. Then he just started killing the kids of the niggas he was pedophiling. Pedophiling is crazy. You have like Leatherface, who's also a cannibal, and I guess Jigsaw for his whole shtick of being an asshole who thinks he's playing God. But and that's one thing I think I want people to understand about this list. A lot of these villains have this same gimmick. They like to kill, and I think that's what makes Hannibal Lecter so interesting, because he's just a cannibal. He's a freak. He likes to eat flesh.
Is that what you got, or?
Yeah, there's actually not much to talk about Hannibal Lecter. He stays in that shitty cell for most of the damn movie.
Yeah, true. But I actually think that's what makes him like so like cool. Actually, like him just being, because like he kind of does like what John Kramer does, where like he plays with everybody's like thoughts and emotions and all that. Like he's always like pulling something behind the jail cell. It's kind of like again another one of these damn bag Batman nods, but Counterman from Long Halloween, where he's literally just always in a jail cell, but yet he's the one that knows absolutely everything. And like that's what Lecter is, and like he's just so deranged, where it's like you really don't want him out of that cell, but you gotta know more. But it's like, hey, hold on, no, you just tell me what I need to know behind the door. All right, just don't get close to the parser. But yeah, I think Lecter for me, I'm gonna put him in B. I'm gonna put him above Bride of Frankenstein.
You know what? I will follow suit. I will put him in B above Bride of Frankenstein. I think he's more iconic than Bride of Frankenstein, but I think I have an argument more people know about the Invisible Man.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Just like the concept of like an Invisible Man is just something that everybody would know. So.
Speaking of villains, there's nothing worse than having a bad dad. Alcoholic dad. He beats my mom. Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance from the critically acclaimed movie Here's Johnny. I mean, for the critically acclaimed movie The Shining. We love the Here's Johnny guy. Here's Johnny. That's all you know about this movie. Here's Johnny. Even though he gives a great performance, but here's Johnny. I, believe it or not, don't like that part of that movie. Probably the only people, because it outshines the rest of the movie. It's crazy. Now, as an iconic villain, he's actually up there because of that moment. It's been parodied. That and his weird eyebrows. Really weird eyebrows. A killer, another killer at least, another horror movie icon that has a strange gimmick where he kind of just loses his mind being in this hotel. Kind of losing his way. We see throughout the movie that he is not a good person. He's physically abused his kid and his wife. He's an alcoholic and he's struggling to make a Jack Torrance. We're getting off topic. Icon factor. Before I make my decision, what do you think? Where does he rank among the icons?
Personally, for me, he kind of does like the same as like Bates from Psycho, where like, or to me at least, because like he is like, because the one thing I like about Jack is that like you're not supposed to like him. He's the villain, of course, but like I think it's really interesting to see like a lot of him and like seeing like his like real like even more of a downward spiral to like eventually how he turns up, and like because like we see him already as like just terrible fucking piece of shit human being, and how he just is just a scary guy, and like that's the thing, he's a normal dude, but yet he's like, it's kind of just like that thing where it's like sometimes the scariest thing is a dude with a hatchet. Well, to be fair, if someone was breaking down my door with a hatchet, I'd be scared out of my ass too. And I think it was Jack Nicholson, right? That played Jack, right?
Yes, sir. It was Jack Nicholson.
Jack, like you said, Jack Nicholson's performance, as he is like with a lot of movies, just Jack Nicholson generally is just like a perfect like actor like for the role. Like he just really personified just this fucking psychopath piece of shit. But for me personally, it's that kind of makes him like, I'm gonna put him at least like top of C, because he is just a crazy guy, which is cool. Sometimes that's all. But
yeah, and I think
he
towards
is a
icon,
crazy guy.
I don't think he's more iconic than anybody else. I'm actually gonna put him lower than Leatherface in C. That's fair.
Yeah. So, for putting the Thanksgiving turkey so low, Devin, you know what that makes you? Pinhead.
These are some gooner ass movies, by the way, bro. I didn't know how much sex played into these movies, but dude, imagine being so horny you solve a puzzle created by demons to trap you. It's a crazy shit. They could go masturbate, they go to bed. Why are you trying to solve the secrets of the universe? Now look at you. You look stupid. This design is stupid.
I mean, I kind of like the drip. I mean, the pinhead's a interesting idea, though.
Why don't you put that on? You put on the pinhead.
However, Pinhead. Okay, but genuinely though, Pinhead just doesn't really do a lot for me.
I agree.
He's like I'm gonna spoiler alert. I am gonna put him like below the two serial killers in C tier, because like he doesn't really do much for me. Like he is iconic to some people, and like he is on the list of like icons, but the thing is, it's like to me personally, he doesn't really do much. I can't fully remember the movie, so it's like he didn't really have that much of an impact. I can't really say much about him except for the fact that his design is cool, his motives were whack. They kind of made the movie. I mean, the movie is stupid, right? You could call a lot of horror movies stupid, but that was just like That was just kind of dumb. I mean, maybe that was the point. Maybe I'm just not remembering it right, but Pinhead doesn't really do much for me, so... So C tier. I'm putting him in C tier. Where would you put him at?
I believe it or not, I'm gonna put him in D tier.
Really?
Over the living condom shit. I don't think I hate that.
What do you have to say about the clown, Devin?
I hate this fuck. Oh my god. Just look at Pennywise. Yay, man. Let me tell you something.
Ran away.
Cut this out. I can't talk.
Mhm.
The clown is stupid. Basically, the story does not get good when they turn into adults.
No, it doesn't. No, that's like the worst part of it.
Honestly. And I think the clown itself is stupid. Matter of fact, off rip, I'm putting the fucker in D tier.
Damn.
Above Pinhead, so he's high D tier. But I don't like him. Just off rip. I don't know what else to say about him. I think he's goofy. I think he's stupid. And I think the remake is really good with him. There's a reason nobody cares about It Part 2. I think the book doesn't do him any justice. I think the idea of him is pretty cool, but I don't like Pennywise.
I think Pennywise is... I think the movies themselves are fantastic, right? The movies, I do like Pennywise as like a concept because, again, I love like Candyman for that reason. I love Freddy Krueger for that reason. And I love Ghostface for that reason. Like the fact that they're like this sort of like this entity, this idea, this thing that can just like haunt for generations and all that. But I felt that Pennywise, in my opinion, is, I mean, you could say a lot of things about them are iconic, like, you know, people are afraid of clowns. That's very true, and Pennywise does it pretty good, especially the remake one. I was actually debating on like if we were gonna put like the Tim Curry or Bill Skarsgård version, but I just went with the Bill Skarsgård version because I feel like that one just felt more iconic. I mean, Tim Curry's Pennywise was iconic too, but you know, we're only having one Pennywise anyway. So I think Pennywise as a concept is cool. You know, obviously this entity who just feeds on children's fears. That's great. The actual like It Part 1 was great. Part 2 was but then again, that like the whole like Devin said, the section where they were adults is stupid. And yeah, so I think Pennywise just themselves is just alright. I think if I were to put him anywhere, I would put him because he doesn't really have like that strong of a reaction to me, and I never really like the drive to really go back to watch it. But I think because of his cool factor alone, because I do think Killer Clowns is a neat concept, I will put him at the top of C tier.
Okay, I do want to address this next part, this next thing. I know we have the funny transitions, but we debated heavily putting Jeepers Creepers in here because the creator is a creep himself.
Yeah.
He is a convicted sex offender, and apparently he was found to possess child pornography, and he also abused a sexual boy. So we kind of debated not putting Jeepers Creepers on the list, but I knew there was people who asked for it, and I do also think that we should be able to talk about it while understanding their while understanding the issue behind it.
I am not the most like knowledgeable on it, right? I did watch the movie after all of that came out, so my vision of the movie was kind of tainted by this, and that's why I actually didn't originally put him on here in the first place. It's gonna sound very biased, of course, and I know like what you just said, like we're gonna like, you know, look at the concept alone, but me kind of can't. And even if I did, I think as a monster, he's just okay. I mean, like, he has a presence. His design is cool. But, like, that's pretty much what I've said about a lot of these other ones. If I really had to be honest, he's alright. I think his scare factor is pretty, his scare factor is cool. His design's cool. He's just as a monster, he's cool. So I'm putting him slightly above Chucky in B tier. And that's where I'm the most comfortable putting him. Because again, granted, you know, I don't know. I'm a bit biased because of you know, the creator, but you know, that's just how I see it. How do you feel about him?
Dieter. He's not that iconic. The movies aren't that good.
Yeah, I mean,
even putting the
alright.
creators thing aside, he's just not that good. He's not that. Yeah. Sleepaway Camp.
I never seen this one. I have to put this in that though.
I guess it's just a solo thing. This is a very, very interesting movie because this is the first movie that introduces a sort of trans thing in there. Well, not the first movie that does it. There's plenty of movies that did before, but it's the first horror movie that does it. Angela Baker, basically, this is going to be sold the entire movie, is seen as a woman throughout the entire movie, but it turns out the mother ends up pretending that it's a daughter when they're actually a male. Now, they do eventually just make her male entirely with a line in the second movie which states that she just gets reproductive surgery, therefore making her first trans villain. And although they are not that iconic, I did want to acknowledge them because I think when you talk about horror movie icons, you realize two things. One, there's barely any women, barely any. There's only one woman on this list, and I do want to apologize for that. Because I'm pretty sure we could think some more, unless you count the Xenomorph. But there's no women. And also, there's not really, like, a lot of these characters are insinuated as gay. Like, the turkey is fucked by a dude in the movie, so there's that. I'm not even joking. That happens.
What? Oh my god.
Chuggy's kind of considered that also, but I think when it comes to horror movie icons, Angela Baker should not be seen out of it. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put her low B, probably the lowest in B because nobody knows her, but I think she does still deserve that. That's our list though. Looking at mine right now, I would change some things, and I would change some things around. Probably put Predator a bit higher. Definitely put Leatherface a bit higher. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put Leatherface a high B, just because I think he's like more iconic than all those other guys. How was your list? How does your list turn out?
My list, I definitely do think like, in retrospect, like I might like change like a few things. Like I might like think that maybe Leatherface should still be an A tier, or maybe Candyman could go above Dracula. But like as of right now, it's pretty accurate. But again, on the screen, I'm going to show both of our tier lists, and the audience will see our completed thoughts.
Yeah, let us know what y'all think. I know we probably ruffled some feathers. I know if we're missing some, let us know down below. And actually, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna leave a link to our tier list in the comments, not the comment section, in the description down below. See if y'all want to do it. Tell us about it. Let's make fun of you. Like if you like the video, obviously. Subscribe if you want more content. We love doing tier lists like this, and this is slowly becoming a mainstay on the channel. Steven, you have any last words?
Yeah, I'm gonna be forced to slave away to do these tier lists some more in the future, so hope y'all like them because I put a lot of work into them. So yeah, just
I have them in the sweatshop.
like and subscribe so I can feed my family, please.